All right, we're out in Colorado for a spring ride. We're going to ride for a few days here. This is day one of the ride. This is a pretty long video, 33 plus minutes or so. What I will tell you is it's kind of a first half, second half. So around minute 16 and a half, it'll switch over to another trail called Windmill. Definitely check that one out. Right here, you can see the guys turning onto a trail called Twist and Shout, and then we'll be going up to Butter Knife. The area that we're riding today is Bangs Canyon. It's out near Grand Junction, Colorado. Super cool place. You can come right out of here at the end of the day and hit the Handlebar Grill and get a burger and a couple beers. It's fantastic over there. Definitely try that place out. Twist and Shout here is a pretty quick trail. We'll go over to Butter Knife, and I'm going to slow down quite a bit. Not quite as fast as some of these guys. On the tighter, more rockier stuff, I try to be careful and keep myself from injury so I can continue to do this sport. I probably did about 2 hours of video on this day, so I felt pretty good about getting it down to 33 minutes. So hopefully over some time you guys take a look at the whole video. There's some really cool spots here and some cool things to see. Great scenery. There'll be parts of the video where if you look ahead, you'll be able to see guys way out there. They'll probably be my buddies Ken and Josh leading the pack out there. And then we've got Craig and Rich and Steve and John. Got a pretty good group this weekend. And we're going to do 3 days riding. This is day one. I expect to have day 2 and day 3 out pretty soon, next day or two. Hope you enjoy the video. So as I mentioned, we're just coming off of Twist and Shout, and we're going to go ahead and enter Butter Knife here. Got John pulling up the rear there behind me, and got Rich in front of me, and we're going to get going. Now, like I said, I'm going to slow down a bit here. I'm not quite as fast as the other guys in some of the rocky, narrow stuff or anything that's close to an edge or off camber or side hill stuff. I just try to be a little bit more careful. I'm getting a little older. I want to continue to ride for another 10 or so years, maybe more, and really don't want to get myself hurt. And today I'm riding my 2016 KTM 350. That bike's got about 300 hours on it. It's been a really great bike. I haven't had to make any valve adjustments on it or put a top end on yet. I do think it's ready for a top end though. And the valve seats are probably getting a little wonky. Those probably need to be fixed up a little bit, but it still runs really great. It does a great job for me. that's my buddy Steve out in front of me. I think that's John out in front of Steve there, pretty sure. As you watch this video, sometimes you can look across, the canyons that we're going around, or look out ahead and you'll see the other guys out there. We'll get spread out pretty good, maybe a half-mile spread between the front and back. I've probably cut out all the video with all the dust. It was just extremely dry out there this trip, and extremely dusty. So there were times where you could ride up on your buddy. There were times you had to really back off so you could see the trail. So the scenery out here is very cool. I mean, I think a lot of people don't realize, even if you're on the Front Range out by Denver and stuff like that, Colorado is just high desert. And as you drive from Denver out to Grand Junction, you're going to see a lot of different things. You can see from the eastern side of Denver the plains, and then you'll get into Denver and you'll see the mountains. You go through the Rocky Mountains and Vail and Eagle and all those places there. I stole my bike right there. Probably swore. Sorry about that. And as you get out to Rifle and past Glenwood Canyon, you're going to see really start to turn into true desert. This is it. We're only maybe 20 minutes from the Utah border, and actually day 3's video, watch for that one. That will come out. That's going to be pure desert out in Utah. That'll be some pretty cool trails. Completely different than what we're riding here today. By the way, I mentioned Glenwood Canyon. If you're ever driving I-70 across the country and you get an opportunity to drive I-70 through Glenwood Canyon, I would highly recommend it. First of all, it's kind of an engineering marvel. You take a look at it, and it is just beautiful. It's the coolest scenery ever. Steve in front of me, John, and I'm guessing Rich, and then it looks like Craig and Rich. So like I said back there just, 10-15 seconds ago, you looked across the canyon or whatever you want to call it, and you see the other riders coming around here where we're at now. This was ended up being a tougher day for our first day riding. Some of these guys haven't ridden since last November. I've been lucky out here in North Carolina. I've been able to ride a good amount so far this year. And so it wasn't so bad, but I think day one kind of wore everybody out. Day two, we go out a place called 21 Road out near Fruita, Colorado. Do some desert riding out there. And that was kind of nice for day two after this one because, as you guys know, the GoPro doesn't really show a lot of stuff. It doesn't show elevation changes well. It doesn't show how steep something is. It doesn't show you the 4,000 rocks we're riding over or any of the square edge stuff or anything like that. So for day one, it kind of wore folks out a little bit. It was a longer day than we expected. Which I don't really know why, because we've done this trail system, we've done this route before, so we should have known. This part of the video is this is kind of the first half, and it's gonna kind of end here. At a certain point, my camera turned off. I had to switch batteries, but I waited till we got over to Windmill Trail. So again, this is Butternut, and we'll be heading over to Windmill. So just in about a half a minute or so, this is gonna flip over there. And Windmill's a super cool trail. little bit different than this one. Kind of the same at the same time. Probably a little more rock. A little bit more kind of edge trail. You're gonna see some trail where you really don't want to go left or right in some areas. You can see the trail over there on the other side of the hill coming around. I don't see anybody out there, so we're not too far behind. And there we go. Just flipped to Windmill Trail.
Cool scenery in here.
So on Windmill here, there's a few tricky spots. You know, you have to go over some steep rock or go around some corners with some steep rock. Not that, but I might catch a couple of them in here. There's a good number of them. I couldn't get them all in there, otherwise we'd have an hour-long video and nobody would watch it. I'm not sure anybody even get this far, but if you do, there's some cool stuff coming up ahead. You see stuff like this. Not anything that's like a super big deal, but and Windmill's pretty cool here because you are literally going up a canyon or you're going alongside the canyon. So it's pretty cool and the scenery is pretty cool. We're gonna roll up to the rest of the guys here. John and I were kind of pulling up the rear. And I think we end up in a spot where we're going to take a break here. Yep, that is our break spot. So, we'll start this back up in just a second. So up ahead here just a little bit. I'm going to try to turn my head so that I can get some video of that canyon down there to the right. But if you ride, you guys know where you look, you go. So I'm doing my best to keep my eyes on the trail and turn my head at the same time so that so the camera can catch some of that canyon down there. And we're gonna not necessarily go all the way down in there, but we're going to go down a little bit and then come back up on the other side. And that's actually a pretty cool spot that's coming up here in just a minute. Alright, so this is a gnarly little spot. At the end of the video, I've got a couple pictures of this from the bottom, but I guess John wasn't feeling too comfortable and hopped off his bike just for a second, get down that first rock. I'm going to do my best here to talk over this so you don't hear all the heavy breathing that I've got as I go down. So I'm going to dead engine down this. Probably should have just left the engine on and just stood up and rolled down. But getting over those first couple rocks and dropping down in there can be kind of tricky. And you just want to be careful. You don't want to get hurt in here. And you're pretty deep into the trail at this point. So to get out to a road from here is probably 4 miles back and 3 miles forward. And there's no option. There's no other way to get out of there. So, and then even then, you can get out to roads, but even by vehicle, it'd probably take an hour to get out to the trailhead in a Jeep or a car. The roads they're Jeep roads, and they're real Jeep roads.
That engine always works. I like going down there. Did I describe it correctly? Yeah, thing. Mark got all stuck on that last time. And then we're gonna go up here. Up here we'll have a couple of roller rocks to go up. Away from there. Talking about. It's not that easy to do that in North Carolina. The rocks don't stick like that there. This thing is...
So we're going to be heading in towards the end of the video here in about 8 minutes, but this is actually a pretty cool section here. I can't believe it took me all day to finally get comfortable. Sometimes that happens for me. So I was finally feeling pretty good. I was able to get the bike going a little bit better and get a decent pace going. This part of Windmill is the fun part, and again, like I said, we got about 8 minutes left, and there's a couple cool sections coming up. Oh, I'd say probably maybe in about 5 minutes, a couple cool sections, some switchbacks and rock climb and stuff like that, which are pretty cool. coming down into the spot where we're going to have some switchbacks up here, and this one here is a little bit tricky. I probably should have taken that a little bit wider, and it's basically a rock slab that you're coming down and immediately have to make a left-hand turn into the next switchback. So just try to be careful here. Last year, one of our guys took a dump at the 2 years ago, I think, or maybe last spring. Took a dump at the bottom of this. Didn't get hurt or anything. Was actually able to laugh it off, but at least he landed at the bottom and didn't go off the edge. You can see if you go off the edge, that's not going to be very pleasant. You can see some of the guys out in front of me coming back up through that canyon. There we go. And don't wait there too long, because if you wait too long, you'll stay there forever. That's the only one that's really bad. The rest of them are pretty easy. This one's pretty easy. And then you're at the bottom, just coming back up. It's pretty simple. This is pretty much the end of the video at this point. We're going to come up to a little, like, rock hill that we got to ride up. You'll see the guys sitting up there. And I mean, here we go again with the GoPro. It does not show how steep that rock face is. It's pretty steep. I ended up doing a wheelie halfway up it. And, yeah, you can see the shadows. It's cool. So this is going to be the end of the video. Appreciate everybody watching this. I hope you enjoyed it. And stay tuned for your coming up.